Hello and welcome to the LampPod. It's me, Sam, and you,
Neil. Hello, welcome back.
And this is the 45th?
44th? 45th. I think 45th.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
We're like 90 degrees, but halfway. I don't know. 45. There's some significant reason of 45. I've done my hair like this, and I hate it already. Mate, carry on.
Same. Like, last week I shaved, regret it hugely,
and it's kind of come back.
I got a bit of a stubble. It's annoying that like a week's worth of growth. Like, I know I can grow facial hair, so like the speed is redundant, but like a week's worth of growth is like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Which you'd sort of expect like a day or two after.
Yeah, like that's literally why it's called a 5 o'clock shadow. Is it like if you shave in the morning, it's like,
oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
What happens later on in the day? It's like, fuck you, John Hamm.
Yeah, I had a very long thought earlier. Like after showering, I was like, okay, we're doing the podcast today. I've got a mustache that I've grown out over the course of the last week. Should I keep it? So we can compare from last week. I was like, I can't fucking do it.
But there's a picture of it up on screen right now, right?
I didn't take a picture.
You son of a bitch.
Just refer to how to binge watch, and
yeah,
it looks nothing like that.
I watched that recently, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
That was a thing. And the shame with that, having that mustache, is that like you'd all asked me to grow that out for so long, and I did, and none of you got to really experience it because it was always like through low quality video chat.
I do. So. I find though that like my beard is like a bit patchy in places still, but like on camera it never looks it.
No,
so
it all
like,
blends, doesn't it?
So maybe it was doing you wonders. Speaking of wonders, WandaVision.
WandaVision.
We're back.
We're back for episode
4.
Holy shit.
Week 3, episode 4. Because Disney fucked us week 1.
Yeah. Right. So I seem to remember you were saying last week that this week it should start outside.
Yeah, that's my theory, and I'm glad I said that on the podcast because I wasn't sure if I did. Because we speak outside of the podcast. Strangely enough, we're actually friends.
Shockingly.
But I think it's going to continue on where we left off. Maybe a little bit of a time jump, but we're going to be with Genevieve. What was that her name? Geraldine.
Janine. I can't remember.
We're bad at this. But yeah, I think we're going to continue following on from her, and we're then going to go back into the WandaVision world. And from what I can tell, that there's like weirdly Disney have started like putting promo stuff out like on the day now.
Yes.
So, on their Instagram, I've already seen like I scroll past it and I'm like, but I've seen like glimpses of this episode, which is annoying.
Right.
And
I think
by the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be like a higher quality look.
Yeah. Well, just sort of like standard sort of, well, not standard, but like how you'd expect like a Marvel sort of thing to look.
No, we're getting HD 1080p 4K type stuff.
Widescreen. So without spoiling it, because I'm not sure what you've seen and what I've seen, like what have you seen?
I think I've seen Wanda with straight hair.
She
had that last it was literally just like I saw it and I was like, oh no. And maybe it was the shot of them on the street.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like there's like the road leading into, I guess, Westview. That was in some of the promo stuff. I think it's maybe that.
Okay. I won't bring up what I've seen then for the sake of maybe not spoiling it. It's literally only like a 40-second clip that they put up. It's an actual clip, which I don't think they've done for previous weeks.
Then yeah, no, I definitely, maybe what I saw was like from the beginning of that, but I didn't watch anything more than like 3 frames of something.
You're a stronger man than I, Neil.
Thank you.
I was like, I'm watching this clip.
I still straight up just don't trust Marvel not to like ruin things. Ever since when did I start doing that? It would have been
Age of Ultron, maybe.
No, I think it was Spider-Man: Homecoming was like my
okay.
point where I'd watch the teaser trailer, and that would be it.
Yeah,
Because
you're sort of, you would say that, well, I'm gonna see this anyway.
Yeah,
so.
the trailer is to sell me on a movie, and I know I'm gonna see the movie.
Yeah, it's got Spider-Man in the name. It's got Marvel in the name. Of course, I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be mad. Which, like, I guess maybe that's a sign that the show isn't doing as well as they hoped. Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah,
I doubt they won't talk about numbers until like the whole thing's out, because then they know people still like to binge watch. So
yeah,
like,
it's a big sell though. I think so. Okay, I'll talk to you about the clip a bit more once we've seen the episode, but I definitely think that there's a specific reason they've released the clip they did.
Okay. I mean, when we're watching it, feel free to. I mean, we watched this together. We've never really spoken about this before. I don't think.
We never really even acknowledged the fact that this bit takes place before the episode. We just sort of did it, and we were like, and now we're going to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, sort of drop that
so
on.
we watch it together. We film ourselves watching it in case anything crazy happens, so that we can put out like, oh my god, Tom Holland was in this episode or whatever.
Oh, reactions.
And that may become a video at some point, but mainly it's just in case we can do anything clickbaity.
Just in case anything crazy happens.
But yeah, so whilst we're watching the episode, feel free to go, that was the clip, like after it happens, and I'll be like, oh cool, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll try and remember to bring it up. Quick fire before we reach the 10-minute mark. We're expecting 80s, I guess, this week, are we?
You'd expect it to be 80s, yeah. I guess going from how the show's been progressing so far, that makes sense to me.
Promo clips, or not clips, like the trailers. Obviously, we've seen Wanda and Vision in like
the
Halloween costumes. Yeah.
A part of me thought that might be this week.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too, because it's like 80s, and 80s is very like, you could sort of associate Halloween with it.
Yeah, we've got the whole
Stranger Things.
Exactly, the Stranger Things like vibe at the moment with the 80s. So, yeah.
So I could totally see that being a thing. Like E.T., there's obviously Halloween in that. So maybe there's some sort of, I'm assuming we're going to see Halloween Vision this week, and I'm very down for that.
I'm very excited for it. I'm actually, I think I'm probably more, am I? At face value, I'm more excited to see Wanda in like full
she'll have the
costume.
tiara.
Because I think Vision's design's pretty good, whereas Wanda has always been quite generic. So like, I'm excited to see.
Yeah. See her sort of get a more comic booky thing. Yeah, I think Vision's in yellow shorts. I think.
Ooh.
So
I've spun on a dime. Team Bettany every day.
Excellent. Right. Well, I think we haven't really predicted too much for this episode, but fuck it.
Yeah, like we never know what's going to go on, but I'm. Quick one. What do you think is going to be the advert this week?
Oh, the ad. So what was the previous one? It was just Hydra. So we've had Strucker. So maybe like they meet Strucker, and then they were in Hydra. So then maybe this one could be something to do with Pietro. Now that they've like established Pietro in this like
something
thing.
Ultron, something Pietro, maybe like Sokovia.
Mind Stone.
Maybe something Mind Stone.
Getting their powers could be the next step, perhaps.
Or just Vision toothpaste.
Or Vision toothpaste, because it will happen at some point.
If it does, we're putting up a reaction to that.
A compilation of me saying toothpaste and then it happening. Final thought, like wild card thing. This whole episode will be the sort of side call where we see what's been going on up until now, and it'll star the lady that got kicked out of the reality.
Yeah, maybe it will all take place.
That's my big wild prediction. Also, why am I wearing green on a green screen?
Oh God! Change in a minute.
No, it's gonna look hilarious. This will be the floating Sam Head episode.
Okay, don't change in a minute. Fuck it.
Sweet.
Cool.
What's the transition this week? We're gonna do.
I always just point. So,
okay, you point, and I'm gonna say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Huzzah! We've seen the latest episode, And oh my god,
holy shit, man! I'm like, this is what I wanted. Like, the last few weeks has been fun and it's been enjoyable, and like, yeah, the mystery is all well and good, but like, I'm actually now excited to talk about this.
Oh yeah. You said very early on in the episode, you were like, "This is the Marvel show."
Yeah, this is the show.
This is like, it's actually begun. It only took 3 weeks, but we're here.
Oh
finally.
man, they really played it close to the chest, and I think it paid off. I think it's definitely worth it, and I can see why they've done it with the way that they've done the reveal now.
So the clip that I was referring to, I told you during the watch, but I'll bring it up for the podcast. The clip was when she goes in through the barrier the first time by accident. It just they show that scene.
Okay.
And my assumption is that they've done that is because, as you say, this is the Marvel show now. So they're like, if anyone's decided to, like, if anyone has Disney Plus and they've watched the first episode and was like, what the fuck's this? And they just didn't come back, they can watch that clip and be like, oh shit, okay.
Oh, that woman was there.
Yeah. Like, it is actually a Marvel show, and it's not just, they're just riffing on sitcoms. Like, there's actually something going on. People can come back now. Good scene to show, and good way of supporting it. We got so much fucking right. Oh yeah,
like ridiculous amounts right.
Well, yeah.
Or just like the whole concept of everything inside the world that's like weird is happening because of the outside world.
Yeah, it's all being reinterpreted. We thought that the helicopter would be a big helicopter, but it was actually a drone.
And that was because there was a crash, right?
Yeah, it definitely sounded like there was like a big like. But
maybe
no.
that was just the drone and whatever.
Yeah.
The fucking
beekeeper.
The beekeeper hazmat suit.
Beekeeper hazmat suit. Fucking
nailed it.
Maybe people watching were like, duh.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I mean,
we were excited when we saw it.
WandaVision's kind of been quite in a bubble for us. Like, I mean, the only other people I've spoke to the show about are like my housemates. So like, I don't know. Like, I don't think they suggested it.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, like if we were like talking like 5 years ago, I'd be straight onto like the Marvel Studios subreddit reading all that stuff. But like, I don't care anymore. I'm just like, whatever. Just watch it. I don't need to surround myself with all these theories and stuff. Like, so yeah, I'm sure maybe there were other people that like, it's a hazmat suit, but to us it was like, we fucking called it. Reality bubble. Obviously, I suppose that was kind of obvious from the last episode. Like,
yeah.
What else? I feel like there were other things.
I can't remember if I said on this, but I definitely said to my housemates that I thought the Wanda, are you there? Wanda was gonna be mainly because I'd seen him in the trailers. But I was like, I reckon that's the guy from Ant-Man.
Yeah. That's fair. There was a funny moment during the watch where they were like setting up the transmitter, and she's like, "Yeah, we can broadcast you inside there." And I was like, "Whoa! Quick! Think of like what moment he could have been influencing." And you were like, "It's probably the bit where he's calling to Wanda." I was like, oh yeah.
I mean, talking about the broadcasting thing, you were like, it's broadcasting something louder than voices or something, and you were like, TV. Like, you were on that. Straight away. TV.
Straight away. It's like, I'm detecting a signal. I was like, TV signal.
It's going to be TV. GG. Like, I mean, it kind of became quite apparent, but halfway through I was like, do you reckon she was at the end of the first episode, and that's how they like end one of the shots, is with that like pan out and her closing the book.
Oh yeah, and then it was there. Yeah,
I
do appreciate them doing that. Like, they actually just inserted that shot again.
Yeah, just like good confirmation. Like,
yeah.
I'm really enjoying the like whiteboard of like cast members and like like what's the hexagon and all this stuff. It's all very fun.
I did find that funny that they are just like, it's such a meta thing. Like, the first Marvel TV show like Marvel Studios TV show is like meta-textual about TV.
A TV show, yeah.
And they're there like, Miss Jenkins has been cast as Bernice. It's like, sticking her up on the wall. Like. That was fun.
Like, kind of a odd thing to say, but I like the fact that Mr. and Mrs. Hart are actually married. Like, in the real world. Like, it's not being, like, forced upon them. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I was I'm glad that they're married. Like, they didn't seem like they were happily married, but they, like, I'm glad.
Two randos in the town were just, like, put together.
Yeah,
it's a relief that they haven't done that. Yeah. Let's walk our way through the episode to sort of harken back to our Civil War podcast. We could sort of walk our way through this episode. The opening scene is awesome.
It's incredible, and it's what I wanted to see.
Definitely.
Like,
it's like we've seen, like, everyone returned in Far From Home.
Yeah.
And it was kind of played for a laugh, which is like fine because like it's in the nature of this shared universe. Is like you should be able to sort of have comedy moments and stuff. But it was nice to finally get like a return to that like Infinity War, like oh fuck, Endgame, like oh fuck feeling, seeing her like basically respawn or whatever in the hospital where she'd been sat next to her dying mother. But that happened 5 years ago, and in that time her mum recovered from cancer and then it came back and she passed away.
That's heartbreaking. The fact that like she went out for the surgery and like during that time, was it like this, she was just finished the surgery or something, but like during that time she got an extra 2 years but Geraldine didn't, and you're like,
and like the doctor had obviously just been in the room and told her like she's gonna do great, full recovery, and so she's like, oh fantastic, disappeared, and then by the time she's come back, like her mother's been through that whole ordeal again, and
because the doctor's like she died. It's like, no, like the surgery worked. And it's like, no, it did, but
then it came.
Was that her name's Monica, right?
Monica Rambeau. Yeah,
Monica Rambeau. Yeah,
because
I just called it Geraldine, but I've learned her name now that that's not her name.
But so this is like there's so many like interesting, like that's another one where I'm like, oh shit, like the ramifications of the snap. Like another one was from Far From Home where the kid on like the news in the school, he's like, yeah, I disappeared but my younger brother didn't, so when I came back he's older than me. And I'm like, oh whoa. And then this is like another one, like there's so many crazy things that can happen just for someone disappearing for 5 years.
It's kind of Tony's fault because Tony went like, those people then bring them back right now, don't change anything. So like for them it is just the blip, whereas like they could have. But
Tony's stance was that like
he basically was just like writing it without loophole for Morgan to disappear, right?
Yeah, I mean it's understandable. You'd want your kid to stick around, and you wouldn't want to lose those 5 years of memories and stuff. I don't know. Like I get it. Like it sucks, but I understand it, and like it's a shame.
It brought me back to the after credit for Infinity War, where you see Nick Fury and stuff, and like you actually see people in the street. Like I've always wanted to see. I kind of wish they, whether they did or not, I don't know because I don't actually watch the show. But like if you'd got an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. version of the snap, where it's just regular people who don't know what's happening with Thanos and stuff, like
it just suddenly happens out of nowhere.
Because like they wouldn't have known about the war in Wakanda because Wakanda's in this bubble, so like they straight up have no idea what's happened, which I think this show did really well. I think it addressed that.
Interesting little side note, or like confusing side note, in the background during the chaos when like Monica's running through the halls through the hospital, like there's someone with like a stretcher or like just like a hospital bed like running through, and then like someone reappears on it. Like what that doesn't make sense, does it? Like why would they be running with an empty bed and they respawn on that bed? Like that seems strange, or maybe didn't see it correctly, but that just seems a bit odd to me.
I didn't notice that, but like, I absolutely believe you that it's there. Yeah.
Do they like reappear? Because there was this whole thing after the snap happened in Infinity War. Everyone was sort of like, oh, you know, like, what if people disappeared in planes? And then when they reappeared, did they reappear in the sky? Or is there like, did Hulk make sure that everyone came back safely? So, yeah. So did that person disappear? Yeah. Did he disappear somewhere else? And then he's been brought back on this empty, unoccupied bed that was being moved somewhere, perhaps, for someone else.
What if the bed's in a different place? Like, what if
brings him back to his bed?
Yeah.
But it happens to be moving. Damn. Yeah, maybe. It's possible. I mean...
What if you snapped and then were in, like, a burning helicopter? Would you go back to wherever that helicopter is now?
Yeah, like, do you just reappear in the middle of the field?
Are you, like, suddenly just, like, reappearing in, like, a junkyard in, like, a square of metal?
Oh God!
Kill me! Kill me!
Jesus! I can't imagine Hulk would allow that to happen. But I fucking
don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, let's go back to the episode.
It's a cool visual. Cool visual. Over anything else.
It was a fantastic scene. Very emotional way to reintroduce a character, especially one we know from like a previous.
It was cool that like the way she appeared, wasn't very snappy. Like she sort of like reforms, and like you didn't notice it was the snap to begin with.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? I thought it was like some weird abstract visual that we were getting.
Like maybe like, I wasn't sure when. I wasn't immediately sure. Then I called it, but then all the other people who we get to see come back, theirs were much more like the actual like reforming and like.
Yeah, there was sort of like a beauty to the way hers came back.
Yeah.
But like it's almost like you can almost imagine that like she gets that news that her mum's going to be fine, and then she's in this like serene moment, and like she doesn't even notice that she's disappeared. So when she comes back, it's like nothing's changed at all.
Well, she says she's like, I didn't sleep for any longer than like 20 minutes. Like it just feels like she's had a nap.
Yeah, damn. That's crazy. I feel like we could talk about that scene.
Oh, mate.
Like, the whole thing.
The
implications of it and stuff.
Who was it? Like Nando V Movies ever does like a one marvelous scene again? Where like gets like I would happily do a whole thing about that sequence.
That's true. Yeah.
Without doubt, like one of my favorite MCU scenes for a good while. I know like nothing came out last year, but like I think
it's my favorite Marvel scene of the entire year.
I guess. Sure.
I mean, it's the only scene.
I'm trying to think, like, would I say that scene is better than anything in Far From Home? Like, it's better than a lot in Far From Home, but like, there's some good Quentin Beck stuff and
like the sort of holographic VR stuff.
The reveal of Quentin Beck, like.
But that all came out over a year ago. That was all. Nothing came out last year.
No,
but nothing at all.
It's definitely up there.
Yeah, it was very
one of the best things
good.
I've seen since Endgame. Like,
yeah. So then it turns out that she works for Sword, which is it just exists. It's here, and you've got to accept it.
Yeah,
Shield is gone. Sword is.
It was there before the snap. It's been there for a while.
Her mother founded it, so it's almost like a Peggy Carter situation where Peggy founded Shield back in like the 40s, presumably some point after Captain Marvel. Monica's mother was like, I'm gonna set up Sword because we've got all these, because it was like sentient weapons something.
Sentient world observation and response department, or at least that's what it is on the comics thing. I
go back through the episode.
Yeah,
I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, I remember as I was reading it, I was like, it doesn't say weapons,
which makes sense as well, because I suppose like
Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division.
That makes sense. Because if you remember what mustache guy Thaddeus Ross says in Civil War, you know, the guy that's giving the presentation,
the one who was in Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, Thunderbolt Ross. He's talking about like how like dangerous Scarlet Witch is, and like Thor and Hulk are missing, and they're
if I
just
misplaced a couple of
nukes.
Yeah, that line.
So it definitely makes sense that something like Sword would exist, because it's like there are like living weapons out there like Wanda. Which brings up a question: it's kind of convenient that Sword showed up to this anomaly, given that Wanda's the sentient weapon, but they didn't know that at the time.
Well,
Sorry,
I guess they went to it just because it was like,
just in case.
yeah, it's just a bit weird, and like no one seems to remember it, so like maybe it's like a missing persons case, and no one remembers the person, so maybe that person can make people forget. Like,
yeah, that's true. It is the Marvel universe, and like there's been like a decade worth of like superpowers, so like maybe there could be something.
It's definitely a leap, but like it's a believable leap, I'd say.
Yeah, in a world where they've been dealing with these kind of things for a while, they've probably started to expect, this could be some kind of superpowered person.
So again, to me, watching it with subtitles, we get the voice of Captain Marvel in this episode.
Do we?
Yeah, right at the beginning. She's like, as she's waking up, she says like, "Come on, Captain Trouble," or something like that.
No way.
And you also get the voice of her mum saying, "No, I can't leave Monica." And then she says, "Mom," and then it's okay. I can stay with Grandma. I can't leave. And then maybe we'll build a spaceship. I'm gonna stop reading this. But then Captain Marvel says, when they were handing out kids, they gave her the toughest one. So I guess it's just a line of dialogue from Captain Marvel. But yeah,
interesting. And when does that happen? Like as it's fading in?
As she's like, as it's fading from black, because it's the first thing you hear is audio.
Yeah,
and then it fades in, and then as she's like forming.
Maybe that was like really obvious. I just didn't hear it at all.
Again, I heard speaking, but like I guess you're just not comprehending what's happening because you don't have the visual yet. So you're like,
yeah. I was trying to like put all this
who's
stuff
talking?
together.
Because initially I thought it was just like her coming to being back in the real world from like continuing on from where the episode ends, I guess. Like maybe she's just like,
yeah.
But no.
Because that was actually another thing we called, right? That this whole episode would be. That was my last minute prediction at the end of the first part of this podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, the wild card suggestion. This whole episode will be a side quel that sort of explains everything that's happened up until this moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what happened.
I predicted last week and kind of reiterated this week that I thought it would be about her following on from the events of the last episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought it would be more like exposition dialogue and like explaining to the character what's going on whilst you're explaining it to the audience. Whereas they showed us and the character. Well, they showed us and then. So it could have worked either way. But I'm glad they gave us what we've got. I think it's more interesting.
Yeah, it's they didn't go for the tell. They just showed all of it. And like now we're clued in, and like next episode will be interesting if we go back to the like sitcom format, because we've now got this extra. I do wonder actually if next episode will split back and forth between like 80s, real 80s.
I think we're gonna get an 80s episode, but I think it will do what this episode did. So this episode we got a recap of some of the stuff in the previous one, with like Vision coming in to find Geraldine. And Geraldine and Wanda's conversation. I think we'll get 6-4, whatever it is, 16-9, and then wide for the bits that like aren't being aired. So when something creepy happens, I think it'll go into HD and then go back and then like.
Because it did that, didn't it? When we saw the full conversation between Wanda and Monica, it sort of went again.
And you were saying it did that during Vision's conversation?
Did
you say that, or did someone else tell me that? Apparently during Vision's conversation last week, when he's like, "It is peculiar, Wanda. What's happening?" Like,
oh right,
apparently there's a
switches there
change, which I didn't notice, so I'm kind of not sure if that happened. But
that was my favorite bit of last episode. Was
so
that
good
jarring cut Because it wasn't even like a rewind of a tape. It was just a...
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we should... Blah, blah, blah. That was creepy, but... Oh, speaking of creepy, wait, maybe we should save that when we get to it chronologically. So we find out about Sword, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
There's some bloke...
That's the thing we're doing.
Like, whatever, there's some guy, there's the director of it. Cool. They
yeah,
go to a hangar.
Has been hired since since the mum died.
He was the only applicant to become, or whatever, I don't know. They go into a hangar where they're like talking about space stuff, and it's almost, I think they alluded to her, like Monica, like we were like, let's keep it to terrestrial missions, as in like let's keep it to Earth missions.
Keeping you
does
grounded.
Monica go to space?
I guess that kind of makes sense. Like,
is she liaising with Captain Marvel? Is Captain Marvel just about?
Well, it's established, right? It's kind of established, I guess, that the Quinjets and stuff are you can take.
Yeah, you can
out
take
of the
them to
atmosphere.
Space.
So I guess
Yeah.
it makes sense that there'll be people out there.
They're just going up to space and doing
checking
things.
I'm gonna guess that this was all sort of excelled since the first Avengers movie, right? Like,
yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, it's since aliens were made public, they were like, shit, we should probably, go to space and do stuff. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe that's when Sword came about. Oh wait, no, because what am I talking about? Her mum made it. Anyway. Yeah, so I mean, she goes into the show, and then we get Kat Dennings showing up.
Yep.
Out of fucking nowhere. She's like, hey, other people in this
Hey,
van, we'll
I'm
never
one
see you
broke
again.
girl.
They were like, what are you? I'm a nuclear whatever.
Never
I'm
annoyed you.
this person. I'm a psychologist.
I'm an astrophysicist.
I'm like, no. You're a political scientist. That's what you said in Thor.
That's what you said in Kenneth Branagh's 4.
You were
Thor.
the only applicant, and you were a political scientist. I'm sure, given all of her adventures, she's switched to being I get that, and she's obviously very familiar with all the tech.
Maybe that's what
I just
she
thought it
is
was funny.
by Thor: The Dark Thor. We just haven't seen Thor: The Dark Thor, and
That's true, yeah. And she's got her assistant and stuff. I'm glad her assistant wasn't there, because fuck that movie and just every joke they tried to put in. Anyway.
glad to have her back though.
Yeah, she was like borderline protagonist of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Once Monica disappeared, she like stole the show, basically.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name? Like something Wu.
It
right?
was something Wu. I can't remember his first
I
name.
remembered his child's name, but not him.
Jimmy Wu.
Little Jimmy Woo. That was a great joke. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
very. Also, he did magic.
He did magic.
Such a good little throwaway.
Like literally the first thing he does as well. It's like Marvel's like, remember this guy, and he's like,
Jimmy
magic.
Woo. Oh, he is literally Jimmy Woo.
Oh right.
So
So, his character's Jimmy Woo, and he's like, oh, I want a little Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy
That
Woo.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Sure.
Why didn't we put that together? That's obvious.
I don't know. I just figured he was like little baby Billy, like that type of thing.
Like he's thought through the name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool to have those kind of like quote unquote legacy characters. I mean, all of these people in this episode, like the main characters, were all
Previously
characters that we've
established.
had before.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them were obviously returning actors. One of them is an older actress. 'Cause
Also, like natural reintroductions. Like there was never like a.
remember this guy?
Especially with Kat, like might have needed it, but I'm glad they trusted us.
Yeah. She's just there.
She wasn't
and
like,
if you don't
I know
who she
Thor.
is- yeah.
Like, there
Did
was
she
more to it
even
than
mention
that.
Thor? Like,
No.
I honestly think that's a good thing that they just didn't do that. No.
There was more to her than that.
We tried to get Jane Foster, but she wasn't available.
Yeah, I'm glad there wasn't one of those.
It's just like, she's the one that we need. Let's get her in, sort of thing.
Then she finds the fucking TV show, and it's an actual TV show that you could pick up if you had a signal close enough.
Yeah, that's that. I like that. That is like really cool that everything is canon, essentially. Like, because you could have sort of said, my initial reaction actually to that first episode ending where you see the TV screen and the person with the book, for some reason, I was like, that's not part of it. That's just like a style thing. But no, it is.
You
it is
fool!
I'm an idiot. I'll hold my hands up and say I'm a fucking idiot. But I'm glad to be proven wrong because they've done it in a really cool way.
The best, like, without shitting on the other episodes, by far the best joke this show has now done is, do you know where West Point is? There is no West Point. Pan out to them standing in front of a welcome to West Point. That was an amazing, just visual gag. I like that a lot.
Yeah, they're sort of like dabbling in like that sort of creepy, like detective vibe. Like I want to say Twin Peaks. I've never seen it, but I'm assuming that's what Twin Peaks is these sort of like creepy sci-fi town mysteries.
Talking
I don't know.
to a voice recorder. Yeah, Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Twin Peaks.
Let's move on to something we actually know about.
Yeah, so they're doing a lot of investigating and stuff. That's he writes like hexagons. What's with the hexagons? Because the perimeter is a hexagon. Mm-hmm. Every episode ends with a hexagon. So like,
and you just went beekeeper.
Beekeepers also bees hexagon.
I was like, yeah, sure. Sam, we're losing you. Sam,
it fits. All right, I'm calling it. All right, minor gripe. Real quick.
Yay.
When the beekeeper appears from the manhole, Wanda says, "No," but in the episode she goes, "No."
Yeah, I was like, oh, she must have said it twice, right? I was like, she's like, no, like. It was a very obviously different take, and I don't get why they wouldn't have just used the like ADR from.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it griped
attentions to detail, and that is like a weird oversight.
It did grope me as well.
Also, like why didn't they show what happened to that guy when it?
I'm so annoyed. I was like, this is the moment we get to see what. But nope.
No, like I was sort of expecting to see him chucked down the hole, and he'd be like, ah, sort of like.
It does make me wonder that if we went back and watched the previous episode, would that shot, because Wanda turns around and goes, ah! And he's like, oh, what's wrong, Wanda? Is that shot like shot from behind Paul Bettany, or is he just purple face the whole time?
Which
when it cuts to his head being open.
Oh yeah,
that's dead eyes. So good,
dude. I mean, let's talk about that. I was saving it for like last, but let's just do it because I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
How creepy is that?
Oh, mate, the fact that you were like, wait, is she just reanimating his dead corpse?
Like, I hadn't even considered that was a possibility, because because
why would you as a sane human being?
Right, but in retrospect, it makes so much sense. But like, I guess I was in denial, where I'm like, okay, everyone's probably real and she's mind controlling them, and then she's projecting Vision. No, it appears to be his lifeless dead body that she's animating,
doing magic
and flying up. Wait, so when Vision is drunk from chewing gum and like going off script, that's all part of her like performance. That's all part of her,
I guess,
playing house, as you called it.
Yeah, sure.
That's so sad.
Mate, I've got this show, man.
All right, okay. The kids then, are the kids projections, or are they actual children?
That's what I'm because she's created them. Like, if not,
like,
or has she kidnapped them?
Yeah, is it like, because you said earlier, like, you're relieved that the two people that were a couple in the first episode, they are actually married, but where have those kids come from? Has she abducted them, or has she literally brought into existence kids, or I don't know. Is
it going to be revealed to be like Vision is a lifeless corpse, so why can't they just be a lifeless fucking baby doll?
Oh yeah, what if it's like dolls? Yeah. Shit.
Man, this show has blown me away.
It suddenly got very good.
It's suddenly good.
It's just the creep is it's not a horror, but it's very much like borrowing those horror elements.
Yeah, it's like a psychological thriller type thing. Like,
because this is like the quick edit from last episode where it's like, and it's very jarring and you don't acknowledge it. And then this episode with like the quick reveal of like the corpse, like the dead-eyed Vision, and then it's just gone and they just gloss over it. Like Wanda, like we were sort of, some people seem to think that it was like, oh, it's Mordo, or not Mordo, or Mistopheles, not cats. What am I talking about?
Mr. Mistopheles?
Mr. Mistopheles.
Why do you know
is
Mr.
controlling.
Mistopheles? What is happening?
Mephisto is the one I'm thinking of. Some people thought it was like Mephisto was the villain and he was like making Wanda do this. But I think this episode
Mephisto?
could probably confirm that Mephisto is like a devil, like a Marvel devil.
A character we don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. Like someone that hasn't been introduced, so it would be a bit of an ass pull to suddenly introduce them. We were saying this, I think, in like episode 1 perhaps or 2.
Mm-hmm.
They both came out on the same day. But yeah, so it would be an ass pull to introduce someone like Mephisto just out of nowhere. But like this episode seems to almost confirm that it is straight up Wanda, like as you said, playing house.
Mm-hmm.
And like Vision comes in the room behind her and she's like crying, and then she puts on that face where she's like, oh, nothing, dear, like everything's fine, and like she's just acting, and like, but why has she lost her mind, man? Like
she's grief. She's grieving.
grief, yeah.
She'd be grieving.
But
grieving boy.
I keep worrying that they're gonna like there's still room to fuck this horribly,
To like be like, don't grieve, like to send the wrong message with it.
yeah 100%.
I hope they don't, because like this is such a good platform to be like, grieving's okay.
Yeah,
Make sure you do it. Like,
Yeah,
you
grieve
got
correctly. Don't renovate
don't-
reanimate your dead corpse of a husband.
Yeah, I feel like the moral of this tale will be like, once someone is gone, they're gone, and that's okay. Like, like you've got to come to terms with that, and like that's kind of where I think this will go. But man,
Yeah. It's just the knowledge that going into future episodes,
knowing
that Vision
now,
is the way he is.
like she's even like, he's dead, right? Like it's like confirmed in this episode that like, yep, blips happened. Vision's dead. Like we're getting all of these very like naturally put in, like
Exposition kind of things.
like confirmations of
reminders. Yeah. It's
previously
interesting that like the average Joe knows, like can recognize Vision from his like human disguise.
Yeah, but I kind of thought that as she said it, but then I was like, I guess like he does meetings and stuff with like General Ross as a human. No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He's
just wearing the
as a robot.
the ascot stuff.
Yeah,
weird.
I guess if people are calling him Vision, maybe, and they can recognize the voice, so maybe they're like, "Oh, that's weird." Like, it's
She's definitely like, hey,
human
Vision.
Mm.
It would have been like a bit better maybe had that have been a shot of him changing, and then he's like, she's
oh,
like,
it's Vision. Like,
he's dead, right? Like, yeah. I don't know.
Like, that's strange. No, I thought she found a random person to pretend to be Vision, but that's Vision.
There
I
he
don't know.
is.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. This has blown a whole bunch of confusion and speculation about this show, and now I'm very excited for next week.
It's going to be a long wait till the next one.
Is it?
Just because of how good.
Oh,
No,
right.
it's going to be
I was
the
like,
exact amount.
Fuck.
No. It's going to be the same amount of time, but now that we're invested, it's just going to be like, oh man, I can't wait for the next.
Big time. Big time. Nice toy.
Thoroughly enjoyed, thoroughly into it now, like fully into. I mean, I was going to watch it anyway. We were going to watch it anyway.
I do feel like I have been thus far just watching it because of like what it is.
Yeah, just
whereas now I'm
necessity.
like,
It's
actually
Marvel.
going to be watching it because I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah. Because there's still, I don't think we're halfway through yet.
We are... Oh, no. Halfway through the next episode will be the halfway point.
Yeah, this is 9 episodes. That's insane. There's so much that can still happen.
So much to still go wrong.
So in theory, they could probably somehow start introducing some kind of villain setup, but it's just going to be Wanda, and they're just.
I feel like it needs to just be Wanda and no big bad.
Yeah.
Like, come on, please give me no big bad. I don't want that.
Yeah. Do some kind of like interesting psychological,
like
dealing
maybe
with
there's
things.
like a government element to it being big bad, but like I don't need a big bad. I need like maybe like a small bad. Even then,
okay.
No, fuck it, no big bad.
No big bad. But let's end it on like another random prediction just in case we get it right.
I was thinking.
If it has to be someone, I'm assuming it would be someone we would know from the Marvel universe. Who could it be?
I think if it has to be someone, I think it will be. To be fair, if it has to be someone at this point in time, I think it would just be the boss of Sword.
That's true. That's
like,
true. Actually, that's probably
we
the
were
most
introduced
sensible.
to him, and like,
yeah,
I'm like, okay.
yeah. And he's like the likable, but they didn't
she's
really
like,
want
there
him
was
there
no
guy.
other choice and all this stuff.
Ah, you're fuck. Yeah, like I beg Marvel, please let there be no villain. Let this be like an emotional
we don't
deal
need
with trauma kind of thing. But I think if anyone is the villain, you've 100% just called it.
Okay, so another wild prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna call in Doctor Strange to try and get into the world.
Oh, dude, please do that.
That's my.
Oh, I want that to happen so bad.
Or maybe not Strange, but like maybe
I get Wong.
yeah, maybe Wong just pops up.
We couldn't afford to get Benedict Cumberbatch, but
So
we
we
got
got
Benedict
Benedict
Wong.
I'd be happy with that. I like Benedict Wong a lot.
Yeah, I'm totally.
I just
down for that.
realised that during. Oh no, I didn't. I was gonna say during this to find out Jimmy Woo's name. I Googled the cast, but I didn't. I Googled the cast of Ant-Man and the Wasp, so I was safe.
Cool, very nice. I don't know who to predict. Come on, just someone random. Yours is such a good answer.
Thank you.
I don't fucking know. Mordo, because we said about it before.
Yeah,
but
I
it'd be
did have
so
to be like,
lame.
Get rid of Mordo from my brain.
Yeah, if it's Mordo, I'm quitting. I'm quitting.
I
Disney
am
Plus.
now. if it was from like the information we'd been given before, maybe like that would have been cool. But like now, I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's either Head of Sword or it's Wanda.
Yeah, I'm praying that there's no big bad. But now, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh, but it did kind of have like a weirdly ominous.
It's too
intro.
nice.
Like, yeah,
It's always the too nice one.
Hmm.
Yeah. Or it's when she blew up the Mind Stone. No, wait, she didn't do that.
No.
Don't worry.
She tried.
She tried. I don't know. It's Ultron. Ultron's the villain.
Ultron. They've got James Spader back.
Quicksilver's the villain. Anyway.
No advert this week. That was upsetting.
Oh, yeah. Because we'll get one next week, presumably. If we
I
go
was
back to the
thinking
formula.
we might get one like in the episode. Like
Yeah.
they sort of like pan around over to the TV and like you watch it through another character's eyes.
It's Kat Dennings and Jimmy Woo. They're like acting out their own theoretical one.
They start writing fan fiction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's end it there because we're about to hit 40-minute mark.
Yeah, let's do it. Cool.
I'm very excited for next episode.
Me too.
Hope you are too.
I've needed to pee for the last like 20 minutes.
Oh God, let's end this now then.
let's do it.
Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to leave a like and smack subscribe, and thank you very much. Cheers. I've just realized I say thank you 3 times in that outro. It took me 5 years to realize. Thank you very much. Cheers.